Howdy folks, this is the guy with the Texas accent once again. My name's Herb and welcome to my workshop. Today we're going to be looking at a project that I've been working on for some time. It's revision 3 of a Rotary Table Indexer. This project, I've had 2 previous versions, but the improvements I've made on this version is that I've added degrees. I've also added the feature that you can move the table forward and reverse. The hardware has been quite simplified, as you will see in the schematic later. Also, you will notice that I've added a 4 by 20 display over the 16 by 2 that I had on previous versions. This allows a lot of flexibility in adding menu items.
Now we're going to explore the components that make up this indexer. And first we have here a Arduino Uno. I ordered these out of China for less than $5. This one's a little bit different than most. The chip itself is a surface mount device instead of the plug-in chip that you see on some Unos, the original versions. This one has extra pins in the upper right-hand corner that provide extra pins for 3 volts, 5 volts, and ground, and the I2C pins, SCL and SDA. That's the Uno. Next we have the display. This display is a 4 by 20 character display. It has a I2C backpack on the back, as you see here in the upper right of the display. This provides operation via I2C and doesn't tie up a bunch of I/O on the Uno. Next we have the keypad. It's flat, has an adhesive bottom, which I don't use, but anyway, it has a device on the end here, is a 8-line to I2C device that allows it to be used on I2C, and then you don't have to have 8 more I/O on their Uno. And next we have the hookup wires that you will need. These are called DuPont wires, and you can get those most anywhere on the internet, or a lot of the stores might have them. You'll need several of these. Next we have a down converter. You're going to run your stepper on a higher voltage, anywhere from 12 to 24. On my setup, I use 24 volts. It takes 24 and brings it down to 5 that's usable by the Uno. Next, you see the stepper controller. This is wired. There's actually 3 lines. I only use 2 of the 3. It's direction and pulse on that, and then that goes out to the motor. The next thing is the completed unit here. I use some terminal blocks to mount all the necessary wires, and the Uno is mounted on the back. I use a little piece of aluminum panel that I made it up with all the screw holes, and so that the display mounts through the box, and just cut out just enough for the bezel. And then there's this little plate that's on standoffs that clears the backpack on the display, and then to that is mounted the Uno and all the various wires that go to it. These DuPont cables are not extremely reliable, especially in any kind of vibration thing. So I use hot glue to hot glue them together and to the Uno. That way they don't move. Also in this picture you see the DC to DC converter. It's mounted on standoffs. It's actually mounted on a little piece of perf board with a couple of screw terminals at each end. And then that's wired to the DC to DC converter itself. Also you'll see a switch at the back and two connectors. One's a 2-pin for the power supply and the other is a 4-pin for the stepper itself. The power supply, which I'm not showing here, is a 24 volt 4 amp power supply. It's like a computer type power supply. I cut the connector off and use these, they're called CB connectors, but they're a screw-on type connector that's very reliable. Okay, next we have the display, and this is what comes up after you apply power. And you can select the mode, whether you want degrees or divisions. Well, you go to the next screen here, and that's enter the number of degrees. In this case I entered 15. Then you press the pound sign. Then the next screen comes up, and that's if you press A, it'll move forward. If you press B, it'll move reverse. And D is a reset, which will take you back to the main screen. So in this case, I'm moving backwards, as indicated by the arrow in the upper right, and it's moving the table. Once it finishes moving the table, it'll update the position and the position count. Next we have the schematic or block diagram of it, and it shows all the connections that are made to the Uno and to the controller, the power supply, and the display, and the keyboard of course. A shot of the stepper and its connection to the rotary table. We use an Oldham coupler in between the stepper and the shaft for the rotary table, and that takes care of any slight misalignment of the two shafts. So next here it shows the rotary table, the stepper, and the hand wheel. So that's about it for this video. Thanks for watching, and if you haven't already, please subscribe. From this old Texan speaking cowboy, we hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching.